All right. So we are live for week two or session two of the game changer that you've been missing in your business. Why settle for just a website when a funnel can revolutionize your customer journey? Okay, so if you missed the first session, don't worry. There's gonna be some overlap between the first session and today's session, but we're gonna dive right in because really what we want to focus on and what we're talking about is the number one solution to getting more high quality leads and converting them into buyers. Okay, getting more high quality leads and converting them into buyers without losing money acquiring them in the process. Okay, so now, uh, last week or last session, I should say, which was like 2 weeks ago, we talked about we addressed the elephant in the room and we talked about website versus this concept called a funnel, which we covered very heavily in the first session. So if you were dialed in on that first session, go ahead and let me know, hey, I saw the first session, or you watched the replay, or whatever the case may be. Thank you for that, by the way. And today we're gonna add on top of what we already covered in the first session. But as I mentioned, there will be some overlap, so don't worry if you missed the first session. You'll be able to kind of keep up to pace with what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so I wanted to through that really quickly. So as people start to kind of jump on here, so today what we're going to be focusing on is the three types of funnels, where exactly to use them in your business and when. The three types of funnels, where exactly to use them in your business and when. So to be clear, who this is for, and before I kind of go through that list of who this is for, let me know where you're watching from, if you can hear me, if you can see me. Okay. So, because the software that I'm using to stream, we're streaming on multiple different channels right now: Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I can't really see a counter, but if you could let me know if you could hear me, if you can see me, that would be fantastic. Just drop that and I'll be able to see the comments. Just let me know about that. All right. And where are you watching from? That'd be great to know. See how far this stream is reaching. So go ahead and drop that as well in the comments. All right. So I think we're about 3 minutes in. Let's go into who this is for exactly. So let me largen the screen here. All right. So who this is for? If you essentially have a you know your information product, right? So you're a course creator, or you have subscription based product, whether that's low ticket, high ticket, monthly subscription, recurring. If you're an e-commerce business, coach or consulting, a speaker, an author, uh, b2b lead generation, maybe you're a local business, right? Gym owner, health pro, chiropractor, right? So if any of those uh, fall in what you do, your industry, then this presentation is absolutely for you. Also, in terms of the pricing of your offer or your service, if your price of your offer is either low ticket, anywhere from $40 to $2,000, or high ticket, $2,000 to $30,000 plus, then again, this is also for you, and you're in the right place. Um, and this is a very important one, is that when you start thinking about utilizing a funnel, it is very important that you've at least accomplished some of these things that I have listed here. You already know and have validated your ideal customers. You have successfully sold your products or services. You've validated your prices, and you have some testimonials and reviews. I'm not saying that you can't, if you haven't satisfied all of those criterias, that you can't utilize a funnel in your business, right? It is just more challenging, right? Because you haven't verified all those aspects: the pricing of your products, your avatar, who you serve, your brand identity. If you haven't accomplished some of those, and then you try to throw a funnel into the mix, it is just more challenging to understand or figure out which variable needs to get optimized, which variable in your entire business model is not dialed in to get you the desired results. But once you have all of these box is checked off, you know you validated your customer, you validated your pricing, you sold your products before, you have testimonies and reviews, then this is a perfect time to insert a funnel into your business model. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. Hopefully that doesn't turn anyone down. If you haven't gotten there yet, you can still definitely use a funnel. It is just more challenging. And with marketing, everything is a risk. You want calculated risk, right? Calculated risk. Lastly, who this is for: someone who you either know or have a good sense that your ideal customers can be reached via social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You have an email list of 1,000 subscribers or more, and you have some social media followers. Again, these are all aspects that will just make uh, adding a funnel to your business model will just enhance the whole performance. And as well as, since all of these variables have already been figured out, now once you insert a funnel into your business model, you could focus on how to optimize the funnel versus worrying about, is it the right avatar, is it the right pricing, is my copy correct, right? So hopefully that makes sense. If that makes sense, let me know. Just comment below, okay, what I just covered. If you have any questions on that, uh, comment below as well. Feel free to ask your questions below. So if you meet all those criteria that I just talked about, then this is absolutely for you. This training is absolutely for you. And as we talked about, we're going to be focusing on the three types of funnels, where exactly to use them in your business, and when. Again, if you watch the first session that we did about 2 weeks ago, there will be a little bit of overlap here, just to really focus in on these three types of funnels on today's session. So the first type of funnel is what is known as an acquisition funnel. Okay, an acquisition funnel. An acquisition funnel is exactly what it sounds like. This is where you need to acquire more prospects, acquire more leads, acquire more customers, right? You've already sold your products, you have those testimonials, you have those reviews, and now you just need to get it into the hands of more people. So you need to do marketing. Well, you want to do effective marketing where you're going to get results, right? So you would use an acquisition funnel in order to be able to grow your list, grow your following, build that tribe that you could then start to nurture in order to generate more revenue in your business. So some of the types of acquisition funnels, these could be, again, anything from free for an acquisition funnel. It could be a free, think about like a lead magnet, if you will, all the way to something where they're paying a low cost. And all of those could be like acquisition funnels. So you're looking at splinter offers, you're looking at quizzes, free plus shipping. Those work as great acquisition funnel. Video documentary series, cheat sheets, ebooks, all those can be part of an acquisition funnel that can help to grow your list. Okay, so let me know if that, again, if you're watching, let me know if that makes sense. If you have any questions on any of these three types of funnels, essentially, when would you use an acquisition funnel? uh, you know that you need more leads into your business, right? You need more leads. Maybe your business has been surviving off of referrals, right? So, raise your hand if your business have been surviving off of referrals. If you started your business, word of mouth, you've gotten clients through word of mouth, but now you're trying to control your own destiny. You're trying to have that pipeline where you can turn on and turn off, increase, decrease uh, as needed to scale your business, right? And having that predictable flow of prospects turning into customers. If you're at that stage, you most likely need an acquisition funnel in your business. An acquisition funnel will help to give you that pipeline. Once built correctly and set up correctly, you'll have that steady flow of leads coming into your funnel, which you then convert into customers. Okay. So if that's where you are, you've been living off of referrals, you're frustrated, you don't know how to scale your business, then an acquisition funnel is the funnel that you most likely need at this point in time in your business. All right. If you have any questions on that, any specific questions as I go through any of these three funnel types, let me know. Or if you identify with, okay, yes, this is the type of funnel I need, let me know as well. Okay. All right. So, why acquisition funnel? So, here's an acquisition funnel that we had for one of our clients. And you can see that in 1 month, right? This is a 1 month snapshot. So June 28th to July, the end of July, you can see this funnel generated 13,472 opt-ins. Okay, that's emails, right? Emails and potential phone numbers. Probably 68 to 80% of the individuals provided their phone numbers as well. Okay, in this with this one, actually these were multiple funnels. Sorry, these were multiple funnels here, but you can see we with these funnels we were able to get this client, to grow their email list. Here's one specific. This funnel is one specific funnel. This was a doctor, a medical doctor, and you can see with this one funnel, this client, this is an acquisition funnel, was able to get and grow his email list by 12,903. So almost 13,000. Okay. Here's one of our clients currently. You can see that from November 2022 to November 2023, a 439% growth in email list, right? Extremely important, right? And as we go through this series, in the next series, week 3 and week 4, we're going to be explaining, okay, you're growing the email list, right? Getting that follower, building the tribe, but then what happens after, right? And how do you leverage that to scale your income, scale your revenue in your business? Okay. So, acquisition funnel, it looks, this is kind of like a blueprint. It could be as simple as this, a couple of pages. So, as you can see, you started with the opt-in page. Now, most people think when I talk about acquisition funnel, they think about a lead magnet and that's it. You most likely, if you've been in business for any length of time, you most likely have lead magnets in your on your website for your business, right? But they may not be converting. In most cases, they're not converting high enough to really make an impact, to really grow your list the way you need it to grow. An acquisition funnel, on the other hand, you have the opt-in, which is kind of like the quote unquote lead magnet, if you will, but then you immediately present them with an upsell offer, right? And I'll get into that a little bit more in a bit, but essentially the upsell offer is a way to kind of break even while you're growing your email list. Okay. So this is basically a basic blueprint of an acquisition funnel. Here's another example. Here's an example of an acquisition funnel that has that upsell offer. This upsell offer right here, right after they opt in, they then get presented with an offer. In this case, you can see this for this client, this acquisition funnel was able to grow their list by 6,018 individuals. Again, emails and potential phone numbers. So that's a 47, almost 48% conversion rate, right? Again, if you have a lead magnet on your website or if you've used lead magnets before, definitely chime in. Let me know if you've seen almost a 50% conversion rate, opt-in conversion rate with your lead magnet, right? But not only that, the individuals who opted in, they had to go, they landed on this thank you step, but then there was another step after which says book Tripwire. And you could see we had a 91 individuals took us up on that offer, generating $3,582.55 for this client. Right. This is the Tripwire aspect. This is the upsell aspect that can help to offset the ad spend while you're growing this email list of 6,000 people. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know. Let me know if any of this is resonating with you. So, what's the real reason for growing your email list? Well, the real reason for growing your email list, one, again, it gives you the ability. Let me just switch over here for a second. When you grow your email list the right way, So we talked about like that acquisition funnel. One of the important aspects of an acquisition funnel and what makes it different than a lead magnet, and most people don't get this, is that an acquisition funnel, it can't just be a lead magnet. It needs to be, think about it as a bonfire, right? Like I can't, like if you're camping and you're trying to start a fire, you need this ignition source, right? You need something that's going to really spark everything, right? So the value of that first thing that's in that acquisition funnel has to be like on point. It has to be high value item, something that speaks to their pain, something that they absolutely need, and they're looking to solve a specific problem that is has urgency behind it, that has curiosity behind it, that they basically um, it's a no-brainer type of offer, right? When they see it, when your prospects see it, they're like, I absolutely need to get this. So exchanging their email, their name, their email, and potential phone number to get their hands on your the item that you're presenting to them has to be a no-brainer, right? And if you set it up that way, that's how you get really high conversion rates with your acquisition funnel, right? And that is the gateway into your business, into getting to know you more, into you being able to start to build that relationship with your customers. Okay. So the email list is growing, that email list is extremely important, but it can't just be any sort of lead magnet because, again, if you've been in business for any length of time, I'm sure you've had lead magnets in place before, but have they converted at, 30%, 40%, 50%, like I just showed you in the examples? Okay. So that's really, really important. It has to be something that really sparks that exchange of value. Now, once you've gotten that email list, and the reason why that growing the list is important, and is that once you start to grow that list, you start to build that relationship with your prospect. Now that you're the lead, all right, you start to build that relationship over time. You start to build that relationship over time. You build that know, like, and trust, which leads us into the second funnel type, which is the activation funnel. The activation funnel. And the goal for the activation funnel is to convert a large chunk of leads into buyers, right? So the question you want to ask yourself in terms of knowing whether or not you need an activation funnel is, do you have a large prospect list but not a large list of buyers, right? So if you've been able to grow your email list, grow your following on, maybe a Facebook group. Let's say you have an email list of 5,000 and you have a Facebook group of 30,000, but yet you don't have anywhere near to the amount of buyers, right? And your sales are inconsistent. This is where you would need an activation funnel. Okay. The activation funnel would be, you would nurture that list, the 5,000. You would, as well as your Facebook following, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever whatever platform you're on. And then you would put together an amazing offer for the activation funnel that you would present to now your warm audience, or let's say lukewarm audience, right? If they've never bought anything from you yet, um, then they're kind of lukewarm because they're on your list. They've been engaging in some things. They haven't unsubscribed, right? But yet they haven't purchased from you, right? This is where the activation funnel will come into play to help to start to lead to that exchange of value. Okay, so here's an example of an activation funnel. So unlike the acquisition funnel where they're opting in, the activation funnel, they already are on your list. So they're not necessarily opting in. You potentially are sending them to uh, directly to a sales page. In some cases, it may be sending them directly to maybe opting in, registering for a webinar or registering for a challenge or something like that. But at this point, they've already been on your list. You've already been building some of that know, like, and trust. So this is kind of like a rough blueprint of an activation funnel. As you can see, it has a bit more going on with the activation funnel, the acquisition funnel, the activation funnel versus the acquisition funnel. Okay, let me see. Here's an example of how we tied these two funnels together, these two funnel types. We had a client who was going to be launching a supplement. They formulated the supplement themselves. But they didn't have it ready to launch. Right. So we were building their acquisition funnel. We were building out their acquisition funnel. We built out the acquisition funnel. Sorry, we built out the acquisition funnel, as you can see here. We grew their email list to about 5,000, 5,092, 47% conversion rate on this activation acquisition funnel. Sorry, I'm mixing up my words here. So this acquisition funnel, we were able to acquire 5,000 individuals before we launched the activation funnel, which was the actual sales funnel for their supplement. Okay. Once we've built that email list, built the following, everything like that, nurtured those individuals, we then launched the activation funnel, which was the supplement. This was the first opportunity these 5,000 individuals that was on the list, this is their first opportunity they had to now get their hands on this supplement. Okay. And as you can see, we were able to, with this activation funnel, this client was able to do about $81,000 in initial sales. Again, this is the first time these individuals, these 5,000, were able to get this product with the goal of them, it's a consumable product, with them coming back and buying more of the product through their Shopify store. Okay. So the funnel was just used to this first funnel was used to acquire, right? Acquire the list, acquire the potential customers. That's why it's called an acquisition funnel. And then this funnel was then used to activate them, to get them to to make that first transaction of sale. But then after that, they were able to come back on every 30 days and purchase through Shopify. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Any questions on the acquisition funnel or the activation funnel that we've covered so far? All right. So here's another example of an activation funnel. You can see again, you really start to see the power of this funnel. Once you have that list and you've been able to nurture them over time, you can see these are two examples here. So in this first example, this is the activation funnel. We sent them right to the sales page. We had about 400 individuals land on the sales page. We had 100 people of those individuals opt in, and then we ended up getting 30 sales. So a 7.5% conversion rate. But just those 30 sales generated $13,152, right? This was with no ads, right? No ads. These are, again, already individuals that were on this client's email list. We were just activating them now. We were getting them to buy either for the first time or get them to buy again. Okay. Another example, this was a live event. This was before COVID. This was a live event. This is like 2019, where it sold out in 48 hours, right? So in 48 hours, we turned this funnel on. Again, this was an activation funnel. This client already had an email list. You could see that was already nurtured. This was, again, to have people fly out to a live event. This client only had 75 tickets still left available that needed to sell. We turned it on, built the funnel, turned it on, and then within 48 hours, it was sold out, generating $33,525 with 75 buyers, 75 ticket buyers, again, to a live event. Okay. This is the power of, first building that list. If you're in that space where you don't have a sizable list, if your email list is about 1,000, if your Facebook group following or your Instagram following or TikTok following is just, not in the thousands yet, then you potentially need an acquisition funnel, right? You need to first acquire those leads that you could potentially turn into customers, right? But if you've already surpassed that, if you already have an email list of a couple of thousand, if you have a following of, 20,000, 30,000, 60,000 on any of the social media platforms, then you potentially could go right into an activation funnel, right? So you have the following, but you just don't have enough people buying from you. This is where you would insert an activation funnel into your business, right? To get them to buy from you for the first time, or get them to buy something else from you. Okay. That is where the activation funnel comes into play. All right. So, third, okay. So now we're going into the third and final piece of this puzzle. So, we first acquired them in step one, we activated them in step two. Now, step three, this is where you really start to take off with your business from a revenue standpoint, right? So, step three is your ascension funnel. And again, these funnels, like, these terms, if you really think about it, they all basically, in the naming, tells you exactly what they do. So the acquisition funnel helps you to acquire, the activation turns them into a customer, right? So if we go back to that fire, trying to start a fire example, acquisition funnel was like that igniter. The activation is now you're feeding it some fuel to get it to get bigger, get hotter. And then the ascension funnel is like now your fire has reached its peak, right? It's like fully blazing. So the ascension funnel is now a way to get those individuals who started from acquisition very early on, right? Who didn't really know you much, but they wanted that value exchange of what you were offering in the acquisition funnel. And then now you've nurtured them over a couple of days, weeks, months. You activated them in step two, and then you continue to nurture them. You continue to build that relationship between step two activation and step three ascension. So, step three, the ascension funnel, the goal here is to generate as much revenue as possible. Okay, as much revenue as possible. How do you know when you need an ascension funnel? The question is, do you have an optimized backend? Do you have an optimized backend sales process whereby you obtaining repeat buyers, right? Do you have an optimized backend sales process that helps you to obtain repeat customers? Either they're buying from you over and over again, or they're buying at a higher level, a higher ticket offer. If you don't have that and you want to insert that into your business where you need that repeat customer base, right? The RMR, uh, uh, recurring monthly revenue, or you need them to buy more from you at a higher level, right? You want to do live workshops, or you want to do live events, or you want to do one-on-one coaching, right? Or high ticket group mastermind programs. This is where you would insert an ascension funnel into your business. Okay. So, um, example. So this is kind of like the blueprint. So the it's funny, like the ascension funnel has less steps than some of the activation, the acquisition funnel that we've looked at before. But again, oftentimes the reason why is because oftentimes the ascension funnel, it requires a sales call, unless it's like a monthly recurring uh, deal. And even with those, in some cases, you would have a sales call. But at this point, even though you've been building that relationship, that know, like, and trust since the very beginning at the acquisition phase, when you get to the ascension phase, it's typically a higher, exchange for the sale, right? Either they're paying more or they're paying on a monthly recurring, which if you add that up across 12 months, it's a higher ticket offer. So typically, Ascension funnel will require a sales call. So that's why there's less steps in the Ascension funnel, because you would basically just be driving them right to a form, a page where they would, an offer page that would explain, like a sales page that would explain the program without necessarily explaining the pricing. And then they would fill out an application to qualify, and then they would book a call on your calendar, and then you'd have a sales call with them, right? And then you would close them from that sales call into your back end offer. Okay. So, for example, we have one of our clients, Dr. Charles, who, again, using an ascension funnel, we did here is we drove them to a webinar. There was only 76 registrants, so not a lot, right? And you don't need a lot of people when you get to that back to this stage in your business when you're in that ascension funnel. But we had 76 individuals register, 46 attended live, which is awesome. So that's a 42%. And then we had another 33 watch on demand. Um, so basically, that's a 61% conversion rate. And in this one webinar, it went to a book a call, if I remember correctly, went to a book a call, and he was able to generate $100,000 from this one webinar, right? Okay, and this is kind of like his a little testimonial that he dropped. Okay, so that is the ascension funnel. Okay, essentially, if we look at this, if we look at this all together, right, is basically when we combine these three funnels together, you may have heard the term a conversion funnel, right? And the conversion funnel is kind of like this umbrella term for, and underneath that umbrella, you have the acquisition funnel, you have the activation funnel, and you have the ascension funnel. And then within each one of these, there are different funnel types that I'm sure you've experienced. As we talked about, the acquisition funnel some of those funnels could be splinter offers, quizzes, free plus shipping, webinar, video documentary series, cheat sheets, ebooks. All of those are great potential acquisition funnels. An activation funnel is a DIY membership training, could be tripwise, it could be flash sales, it could be supplements, it could be continuity programs, it could be group coaching, could be supplements, right? I got supplements on there twice for some reason. And then the ascension funnel could be live events, it could be one-on-one coaching, it could be done for you services, right? And a lot more. It could be group mastermind that are high ticket, could be ascension funnel. The way to kind of think about these is the ascension acquisition funnel tends to be like lower ticket, free to lower ticket offers. And then as you start to go up in pricing, you get to the activation funnels. And then when you really get to like max out in your pricing, you're looking at ascension funnels. Okay. Questions on any of that? We kind of went over all of that really quickly. So any questions? I'm going to leave this up. Actually, I'm going to go to one more slide here. So how does this, you may have seen this image before, right? Where it's on the image to the left, where it's like it's showing you uh a funnel, right? And you're wondering, okay, how, Joel, you're throwing a lot of terms at me here. How does a funnel and this whole conversion funnel, like how do those kind of intermingle with each other, right? So a funnel, like I mentioned, each one of these acquisition funnel, activation funnel, ascension funnel, each one of these have different funnel types that you could build to get to your desired results. Just look at it this way. Think of your acquisition funnel, right? Because that's the one where you're turning these prospects into a lead for the very first time. That is your acquisition funnel. That would be at the very top here, right? In an acquisition funnel, yes, you can generate some sales through the acquisition funnel, right? But then think halfway down on this image that I'm showing you here, think halfway down is your activation funnel. And then at the very bottom is your ascension funnel. So you kind of really starts to get like what's that movie? It's like a funnel within a funnel within a funnel, right? Inception, right? It really starts to get to a point where like if you really get this concept, and I'm trying to capture this and like explain this to you in like 30 minutes, but essentially, uh, one funnel by itself can accomplish lead, nurturing, and sale, right? One funnel can accomplish that, like a challenge funnel can accomplish that. These are the type of funnels that we call trifecta funnels: a challenge funnel, a webinar funnel, All of these funnels can accomplish turning a prospect into a lead, then within the funnel, converting them into warming them up, nurturing them, building that know, like, and trust, and then converting them into a customer. But then also, you could have three separate funnels: one that does the acquiring, the second one doing the activation, and then the third one doing the ascension, right? It really depends on what is makes the most sense for your business. It really depends on where you are in your business. Again, if you check all the boxes from what we talked about in the very beginning, in terms of like you've solved your avatar, you've figured out your pricing, you know how to reach them, you have testimonials, you have results, you have a following. Setting all that aside, you've checked all those boxes. Then it's really just figuring out, okay, which one of these funnel types I need, and then what's the funnel within the funnel if you need that, right? But oftentimes you start with one funnel, whether it's an acquisition funnel or an activation funnel. It's very rare that you would start with an ascension funnel right out of the gate. In some cases, you can. If you have a really, really big list and you've been nurturing them and all that kind of stuff, you can potentially start with that higher ticket ascension funnel. This is where people talk about a descending value ladder versus a ascending value ladder. What we've been talking about with the acquisition to activation to ascension, we're talking about a ascending value ladder, right? But every business is different. Where you are in your business, whether you've been in business for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, it depends on knowing where you are and then having the right strategy to build out that right funnel, that first funnel that's going to get you your desired results, right? With that being said, what is the next step? So the next step is, number one, comment below, right? If you have any questions on anything I've talked about today, I know I've thrown a lot at you, and as I go further into these sessions, it gets a little bit more technical. But if you're following along, you should be able to keep up. Um, so if you have any questions from today's session or the previous session, feel free to definitely drop that. So that's step one. Step two, tune in for next week's session, which is going to be week 3. Uh, Definitely don't want to miss week 3 and absolutely week 4, because we're going to be diving into some specific types of funnels. And in week 4, we're going to be talking about a funnel that I'm extremely excited about, that we've helped our clients generate well over $5 million with this one funnel type. Okay. So we're going to be covering that, a bit of it in week 3 and then more in week 4. So you definitely want to tune in for a week 3 and week 4. And then lastly, how can you get started today? Right? You've been following, you're like, Joel, I don't want to wait for week 3. I don't want to wait for week 4. uh, I, I, you, I'm very intrigued of what you've been sharing with me. I feel like I need an acquisition funnel or an activation funnel or ascension funnel, or I've tried a funnel in the past and it didn't get me the desired result. Where did I go wrong? Well, what I would tell you to do is to book a call, right? Someone on my team should be dropping a link here shortly, for you to book a call with me so that we could dive into your business, figure out where you are in your business, and and develop a strategy consisting of which funnel makes the most sense for you right now in your business, right? And as I like to say, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. It's not my quote, but I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This is just your next step in this journey. If any of this resonates with you, then this is the next step for you along the journey. So click on the link, schedule that call. Let's it should be about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We'll do this free strategy session. We'll figure out where you are in your business and help you to identify which of these funnel types, whether you need an acquisition funnel, activation funnel, ascension funnel, but not just that, but which funnel specifically within these funnel types would make the most sense for you based on where you are in your business and where you're looking to go. Okay. All right. Besides that, if there's no questions, stay tuned for next week's session. And then week 4, I think this last session for this year, where we're going to be diving into a really, really powerful funnel. Like I mentioned, that's helped my clients over since 2019. This one funnel combined has helped my clients generate over $5 million in revenue. Okay, with this one funnel. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit in week 3. And then we're going to fully dive into that funnel in week 4. Until then, have a blessed rest of your week and a great weekend. I'll see you next week.